Individual action coming to a close on the opening day of competition at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games from inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for staying with us today, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Nikki Brazier is down on the competition floor. Event number 4 will be the third event of the day for the individuals. And benchmarks are always fun. Why don't we throw one of those in there?
And make it a little bit worse as we add 2 sets of 9 at the tail end of Elizabeth. We saw this program in 2012 in the final, but this is the real version. We're getting below parallel 63 times tonight.
In lane number 3 is Alex.
Squat cleans, yes. Those members asking me on the whiteboard, they are squat cleans today. And if you knew, you know, because if you look at the parallel bars on the other side of the competition floor, this is nothing new if you have been a part of this community in the last 20 years.
Let's send it down to Nikki Brazier.
Well, benchmark workouts are the absolute foundation of CrossFit. We love the opportunity to test and then retest these elegant pieces of programming, and we like to kick it up a notch for the elite athletes as well. And over the course of our game's history, we have seen 11 traditional benchmarks programmed and another 14 variations tonight. This is number 15.
First of 4 heats for the women. Caroline Spencer will be in lane number 4.
Got you.
She and her husband, Austin, competing together here. The 5th married couple in Games history to compete together at the CrossFit Games.
Caroline Spencer, one of those being able to qualify for a second year, as you said. They've been putting off their honeymoon until after the games. They got married right before the semifinal season started.
Here we go, the set of 21. Yes, they're squat cleans.
Yes, they're squat cleans. All you guys that watched the CrossFit Games final in 2012, you got duped. There's never been power cleans involved when you talk about Elizabeth, the benchmark workout, 21:15.9, but we are at the CrossFit Games, so we're gonna tack another 9 and 9 at the end.
Athletes will advance the barbell every 7 reps.
Right now, in the lead here in lane number 4.
Caroline Spencer is out early along with Sydney Mikulishin, Christine Kohlenbrander, and Sol Sigurdardottir in front early in the set of 21. Sydney Mikulishin is on her final set of 7. There's Caroline Spencer on her final set of 7.
Everyone we talk to that had demoed this on the demo team has expressed that there's not a lot of time to waste in an event like this. So going touch and go on the cleans in set 3 sets of 7 is almost a must if you're going to get at least underneath the time cap at minimum. At best, if you want to get yourself back up closer in those later heats.
Sydney Mikulishin on the bottom left-hand side of your screen is first to the parallel bars, and Caroline Spencer behind her. Now Christine Kohlenbrander making her way to the parallel bars, and we were talking about this earlier. A lot of you heard it, but this is nothing new.
No, it is not. In fact, 10 years ago, you can even find this on YouTube. You have Jace Khalipa explaining this test that they had called the man test. The problem is 10 years later, I'm pretty sure all of these athletes can do them better than the guys that were taking this test. And what it was a traverse back and forth across the parallel bars. 5 down to 1 on each end, and you had to walk backwards. And this was a decade ago. If you ask Greg Glasson back in the day, there was a pair of these in his gym, and he would say there should be a pair of these in every gym around the world. And that was 20 years ago. You can scour the journal and find a lot of other references to this movement. And here, my point is, like, we're used to the rings. The rings are objectively more difficult than this. However, the traverse is a big twist to the dip portion of this event.
Have to complete all 7 reps as Christine Kohlenbrander goes back to the barbell for her set of 15. If you come off the parallel bars in the middle of a set, you have to walk back, as you see Sydney Mikulishin doing on the left side of your screen, traverse back and begin the set again. And Christine Kohlenbrander, the only woman on her set of 15, squat cleans.
Kohlenbrenner definitely known for her max strength. Decent power output as well. Not so much the upper body pulling endurance, but definitely showing she has the pressing stamina in that first set of 21.
Kohlenbrenner and Alex Gazan are your top two athletes. Gazan is in the bottom left-hand part of your screen. Freya Moosbrugger sits in third place, with Sung-Young Choi and Caroline Spencer inside the top 5.
A lot of different techniques, some touch and go on the right side with Kohlenbrenner, 2 or 3 reps at a time, singles on the left side from Alex Gazan. Even the Freya Moosbrugger to the right of Kohlenbrenner. Not necessarily a wrong or right way to do it, because you got athletes that singles is the fastest that they can go. Whereas they ripped off, say, a set of 7, set of 5, 7-3 unbroken, it would actually end up making them slower on the backside.
Kohlenbrenner is done and heading back to the parallel bars for her set of 15 dips. Wild Protein Chips, the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. Order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons, Safeway locations, and King Soopers.
Kohlenbrenner looks very good on these dips. Now the question is it worth resting a bit more in hopes to get this unbroken with the traverse, as you see Kohlenbrenner on the left side of your screen? It doesn't have to be unbroken. We saw that in the previous event where unbroken was a key element of that test. But they do have to go back to the starting point if they are to break any of these sets of 5. So at minimum, the sets of 5 need to be unbroken. If not, they have to go back and do the traverse. And this traverse is much more taxing than it appears on screen. And the big taxing element is the top of that dip, the lockout, the press out. And so he said is playing the game between resting a little bit between sets or pushing yourself to the edge a bit and trying to do those sets unbroken, if not running back and trying to traverse again and get any reps you didn't do on the first part.
Christine Kohlenbrenner now on to her first set of 9 squat cleans, 126 total scored repetitions in this event. Kohlenbrenner threw 75 of those. Alex Gazan, Sung-Young Choi, Freya Moosbrugger behind Kohlenbrenner. Sola Sigurdardottir has moved into 5th. 12-minute time cap in this event, and we were talking to Adrian Bosman earlier today going through this event, and he said that the time cap forces the athletes to go faster than they may want to go to finish the event.
And it's a bit of a different time cap that we saw in event 1 to start the day, where the time cap was long enough that everybody had an opportunity to get in their 5 miles, their toes to bar, and their chest to bar pull-ups. Well, almost everybody. Everybody who could count to 5 did it all. But this time cap, much tighter. And we've seen this in the past where sometimes the time cap becomes an element of the test, where the time cap is a bit of a pressure cooker. It forces the intensity of an event. And if you don't have that from the beginning, you're not going to finish.
Kohlenbrenner's through 87 of the 126 scored reps here. Now on to her final set of 3 in this first of 3 rounds of 9.
As you said, it's Elizabeth plus, and that's +9 and +9 on the backside. And it's interesting to think is that you look at 21-15, 9-9-9, but when you break it apart like this, it's a weird like 21-15, 27. Just those 9 rounds go so quick, so you don't really have as much break between the bar and the parallettes as you did earlier in the event.
Christine Kohlenbrenner all by herself in first place. Freya Moosbrugger, on the right side of your screen, just finished up her first set of 9 squat cleans. Less than 4 minutes to go before we hit the time cap.
She's got that R next to her name. That R means that they are in their rookie appearance here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. It's the first time they've made their way to Madison, Wisconsin. So whenever you see those R's on the leaderboard, that's what it's letting you know that they are a rookie.
We've seen all day long rookies stealing some shows.
Final set of 3 for Colin Brander on this middle set of 9, and now she moves back to the parallel bars.
Right now,
99 of those 126 scored repetitions.
making her way back to the parallel bars for another set of 9 dips.
Colin Brander, the only woman in the second round of 9. Everyone else is
She makes her way across.
in the first one.
Let's go ahead and get behind all these athletes. You guys put your hands together. Let's give them a boost. Let's give them a cheer. As they
Colin
run
Brander's
through.
use of the parallel bars. She's a former level 10 gymnast. Qualified out of the Syndicate Crown. She finished 5th earlier this year in Knoxville during the semifinals.
Where their bar is at, who's got that barbell farthest down the line? Choi able to advance in her next set of 3.
Alice Gazan and Sung Young Choi are now into their second rounds of 9.
That is your 1, 2, and 3, ladies and gentlemen. 9.5 minutes to go.
See, Colin Brander taking a bigger break here. It's different than, say, breaking a 7 or 5 and having to go around, but you definitely don't want to have to break a set of 3. That is a lot of extra work relative to the designated work that you have to do to run back around and go do that traverse again.
Colin Brander back to the barbell for the final time. 9 more reps here.
Josh, we're at the 10-minute marker, so athletes, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes remain.
Alex Gazan is on her second set of 9 on the dip portion, as is Sung Young Choi. So Sigurdardottir has moved into 4th now. She's creeping up.
She's got 3 more cleans to go. And ladies and gentlemen, 9 reps.
90 seconds for Christine Colin Brander to get inside the time cap. She has 9 dips that she needs to complete in order to do that.
1 minute and 20 seconds to go before that time cap hits.
Let's cheer on as Kiki keeps an eye on the clock. Christine makes her way, and she's got 2, maybe got 3 reps in. 6 more reps to go. 1 minute remaining.
Athletes, you have 1 minute. 1 minute.
Alex Gazan is now moving back to the barbell for the final time to start her last set of 9.
Making her way back to the other end of those parallel bars.
Colin Brander on her second set of 3 here.
And 3.
Able to get through those, and now 3 final reps, 45 seconds before we hit the time
3
cap.
more reps to go. Come on, Madison, make some noise for her. Christine
Gonna make sure she's ready to go.
making her way across those parallettes. Her hands, both hands past that red line.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Colin Brander's done it, and she will finish and take heat 1.
Get it done, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise.
11:37.19 seconds for Christine Colin Brander.
She gets it done in a time of 11:37.
Here's Alice Gazan just trying to get as many reps as she possibly can before the time cap hits. This is her final set of 9.
Counting down in 3, 2, 1, and time.
Kiki, those parallel bars are no joke.
Christine Colin Brander, the only woman to finish inside the 12-minute time cap
Ladies and gentlemen, one more
in
time. Make some
heat number 1, sets the early time to beat at 11:37.19 seconds.
Colin Brander a steady start on the first 21 cleans and made her move on the 21 dips off the parallel bars. And once she got to the round of 15, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Nobody was able to get in contention, even push her towards the end. And for Colin Brander, a bit of a blessing and a curse when it comes to that. When you're leading the heat in heat number 1, you really don't know how to push with other athletes around you not keeping pace with you.
Alex Gazan is going to wrap up second place as she was able to get through 3 of those final 9 dips. Sung Young Choi takes 3rd, followed by Michelle Marin and Sola Sigurdardottir takes 5th. First of 3 heats done. The equipment team doing a great job of getting the floor set for the second of 4 heats.
Ladies and gentlemen, in lane number 10, it's Julia Canto. In lane number 9, we have Paige Powers. In lane number 8, Ellie Turner. In lane number 7, Danny Spiegel.
Look at the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center. First time that we're inside this facility. Started earlier in the evening with the skill speed medley. And now Elizabeth elevated, which is event number 4 on your scorecard. But the third event that the athletes are doing today, event number 2, had to be postponed earlier in the day because of rain. That will take place tomorrow afternoon in the North Park, and it will take place as planned. Lane assignments for the second of these 4 heats. Lane number 3 is Emma McQuaid.
Emma McQuaid had a great campaign last year.
30 seconds.
And yes, squat cleans, even though I know when I say that every Olympic lifter is ripping their ears off. But yes, if you knew, you know, this is nothing new. If you've known where we have been, though it is a new implement we've never seen at the games, these parallel bars will be one of those things to tackle for a lot of these athletes.
Emma McQuaid making her 4th career individual appearance here at the CrossFit Games. Best career finish was last year when she took 12th overall.
All right, heat number 2 is up. We are looking at Elizabeth elevated.
11:37.19 seconds is the time to beat from Christine Polenbrander in heat number 1, the only woman to complete the entirety of this event inside the 12-minute time cap. And we start with those 21 squat cleans. Sarah Kaya, Danny Spiegel, and Ellie Turner. Out front, Karen Freyova and Lucy Campbell up there as well, as is now Emma McQuaid. So every woman through her first 7 set, they advance the barbell every 7 repetitions. 126 total scored repetitions in this event.
Look at Ellie Turner on the right side of your screen. Now, when she was doing touch and go, she was having a very short extension through the clean. She was almost pulling herself under the bar more than actually extending all the way through. Now, there's nothing wrong with that as long as she receives it below parallel and stands up all the way. But a very unique strategy that Turner was doing. And what that does is, yes, it shortens the motion of having to pull the bar completely off the floor to full extension. However, as far as movement pattern's concerned, it checks all the boxes.
Danny Spiegel is first done with her initial set of 21. Ellie Turner right behind her, and Sarah Kaya is in third. Kaya towards the top of your screen, working towards the parallel bars.
Now for Danny Spiegel, she's one of the stronger athletes in the field. She's great inverted on her hands in a pressing motion, but high volume ring muscle ups, high volume ring dips have always had a tendency to throw her off. Now with these parallel bars, they're easier to do when you just do them in a row. Harder to do when you add the traverse. So I'll be curious to see how does Danny Spiegel navigate these dips with these traverses.
Ellie Turner, closest to the camera on the black top, has overtaken Spiegel for the lead here. Both of them through their second of 3 sets of 7. Comes Ellie Turner as Danny Spiegel gets to work on her third and final set of 7. Then she'll head back to the 95-pound barbell and do 15 squat cleans.
Turner took a bigger break between the second and third set of 7, who actually moved ahead of Danny Spiegel, but then Spiegel hopped up faster before the third set.
Emma McQuaid has moved into third place. She is closing in on Ellie Turner for second. Wild Protein Chips, the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. You can order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, and select Albertsons and Safeway locations, and King Soopers.
So seeing if Ellie Turner opts to go touch and go again, watch her shorter self underneath on the right side of your screen. So she doesn't extend all the way. With these barbells, these are light barbells for these athletes in this setting. If you were doing say a traditional clean, whether it's for weights or say in your affiliate, changing that full hip extension to the second pull is something you would want your athletes to do. But when we're talking for time, for speed, a lot of the things you'll see on the floor are not usually things you'd be coaching in the gym.
Danny Spiegel done with her set of 15. She has overtaken Ellie Turner for the lead now. Emma McQuaid sits in third, Bailey Rail now in fourth, followed by Victoria Campos.
On her last set of 7, the last 2 reps, Danny had to be a bit more deliberate with her lockout, so she was slowing down just a little bit. And it can't be said enough how taxing the traverse is on the tricep itself. And when you think of one of the biggest muscle groups you need to be successful at this moment, and it is the tricep, obviously front part of the shoulder, the chest is involved with that, but that traverse on the lockout to get that final extension to finish the rep, that is what's getting smoked on these traverses.
Spiegel on her second set of 5. Ellie Turner is in second place. Bailey Rail and Emma McQuaid are also back to the parallel bars for the second time. 126 scored repetitions in this event. Danny Spiegel is through 67, as is Emma McQuaid now. Now Bailey Rail starting to gain ground on the leaders.
As we approach the 5-minute marker, keep you set. Time to beat 11:37. Right now, Danny Spiegel put on a clinic.
There is Bailey Rail.
The new time to beat.
Second individual appearance at the CrossFit Games. He competed twice on the team in 2017 and 2018 with CrossFit 417. Last year as an individual, finished 18th overall. And trying to keep the pressure on McQuaid and Spiegel.
Her partner on that team, Kristen Colbrand,
who has the time to beat at 11:37.19 seconds. She did that in heat number 1, the only athlete to finish this event inside that 12-minute time gap.
A little bit of a shuffle up there, Josh.
Danny Spiegel heard you, and now she went touch and go on those final sets. Emma looking over her shoulder. Emma and Danny starting at the same time. Emma strikes first. She gets 1 rep in. There goes Danny.
There is Emma McQuaid, who currently sits in second place.
You go and touch and go.
They both finish at the same time. Danny will advance her
McQuaid
first.
raced quads since she was 6 years old and gave it up in 2013 when her partner David got badly hurt in an accident. She is even with Danny Spiegel for the lead in this heat. Emma McQuaid getting to work first on her first of 3 sets of 9.
McQuaid, she wasted no time getting up on the parallel bars after the cleans and only took about a 5-second break after her first set of 3. You can see McQuaid at the top part of your screen will turn and immediately put her hands on the parallel bars. And what that's like, it's like not stepping away from your barbell between single reps. It keeps you in the moment. It keeps you attached to the movement. A lot of times you'll see athletes step away from that, and it almost encourages them to take a little bit extra time than they need. So I really like what McQuaid's doing on the parallel bars.
McQuaid back to the barbell for her second set of 9. She is now in the lead with Danny Spiegel and Bailey Rail now fighting for second.
And McQuaid has done up to this point since she started the 9 was quick singles, where Danny Spiegel has been doing unbroken sets of 3 along with Bailey Rail. And this quick single format for McQuaid, as we said in heat 1, John, is that go at the speed that's fastest for you. Maybe going touch and go for McQuaid will actually end up making her rest more in between sets. However, staying on the barbell. She's doing the same thing with the barbell that she did with the parallel bar. She's not stepping away. She gets her hand on the bar as fast as she can, and then just keeps her moving forward.
McQuaid done with her second set of 9, now through 99 of the 126 total repetitions. Danny Spiegel on the right side of your screen, the bottom right side of your screen, is trying to hold off Bailey Rail, who's in the long black pants on the right side, for second place. And McQuaid getting to work on her first set of 3 dips.
So McQuaid will turn, put her hands on the parallel bars immediately. I mean, her rest is minimal at best between these sets. Hands on, take a breath, hop up, then she's ready to go.
Final set of 3 on this round for McQuaid. And now Emma McQuaid starting to put some distance between herself and Danny Spiegel and Bailey Rail. Final set of 9 on the barbell for McQuaid. Spiegel is on her final 3 reps on this round.
Spiegel's hanging tough, and her dips look good, so she really hasn't faltered at all on her pace. I think the only difference is Spiegel is resting more between her unbroken sets of 3, where McQuaid is still doing the quick singles.
McQuaid into her final set of 3 on this last set of 9, then it's back to the parallel bars for the final time.
So Spiegel took that big break between sets. McQuaid doesn't have that. The amount of time she rests in between singles, McQuaid on the side, is still faster.
9 reps remain for Emma McQuaid. Time to beat 11:37.19 seconds. McQuaid has a really good chance of chasing that down.
11:37.
Hands back on the parallel bars. I love the pacing from Emma McQuaid.
6 down, 3 to go for McQuaid.
Approach the 10.5-minute marker. Come on, Madison, she is so close. Emma McQuaid, number 3, getting her hand across that red tape. There's 1.
Final 3 reps for Emma McQuaid, looking for her first career event win here at the Games, and she will take heat number 2, 10:42.96 seconds. Danny Spiegel with 3 reps remaining. Bailey Rail also with 3 reps remaining. Danny Spiegel is in. Here's Bailey Rail looking to lock up 3rd place in the heat. And 3rd place right now in the event is Christine Kohlenbrander, now has the 4th best time. 11:14.72 for Bailey Rail. 40 seconds to go before we hit the time cap. That's Victoria Campos down in lane number 1.
30 seconds remaining.
She has 9 dips remaining. Ellie Turner is in 2nd place right now on the floor. She has 1 final clean, and then she'll get back to the parallel bars as well. So final 15 seconds here. Campos trying to pile up as many reps as she possibly can here before we hit that time cap.
5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and time.
Now 4 women have finished after 2 heats, and Emma McQuaid has the new top time at 10:42.96 seconds.
Ellie Turner and Danny Spiegel were your early 2 back and forth. Spiegel, as I said, got ahead of the pack, doing big sets of unbroken reps, 7s, 5s, and 3s. But it was Emma McQuaid at the top part of the screen that moved ahead, actually caught up to her, and doing a completely different set of quick singles on the cleans, and that worked best for her skill set. And what McQuaid was very good at, which is very hard to do, is to rest minimally between short sets of work, and she did it beautifully.
3 more women get across the finish line inside the 12-minute time cap. Danny Spiegel and Bailey Rail, the other 2 in that heat, and they join Christine Kohlenbrander as the only 4 women now to finish event number 4 inside the 12-minute time cap. Heat 3 coming up next. Two heats down, 2 to go here, and Elizabeth elevated. It's event 4 for the individuals, the 3rd and final event that they are doing today. Chase, are they power or squat?
These are squat cleans, Sean. Squat cleans, as Elizabeth should be and always has been. But we're adding 2 extra sets of 9 on the back end, as if Elizabeth couldn't be hard enough. Here we are.
3rd of 4 heats. Cara Saunders is in lane number 3, and if anyone out here can move a barbell quickly, it's Cara.
If anyone needs a date with the barbell, it's Cara Saunders, because she has always done so well with either heavy barbell or high volume cycling, in cleans especially. If you think back to the clean ladder back in the day, the 10-2 we saw at the CrossFit Games absolutely destroyed that. And Gabby Magawa, one of those athletes that has been in discussion for a top 5 potential, maybe even a podium position. She's going to have a good performance here if she want to make herself back in the final heat going to start day number 2 tomorrow.
Stand by.
Third of 4 heats has begun. 10:42.9 at 6 seconds is the time from Emma McQuaid. That is currently the top mark.
All athletes opting for touch and go, and I think as we make our way through these later heats, Sean, a lot of times the only speed is go, and I think Elizabeth elevated is going to turn into that.
There is Cara Saunders, one of the veterans in this heat. Saunders, first debut to the games in 2012. Both she and Turi Helgadottir was also in this heat, competed in 2012. Brooke Wells, she's down in lane number 10. And we mentioned last year and how that ended for her here on the competition floor with that injury. And now for the first time since that injury, back out here inside the Coliseum.
And the question is, what expectations do we have for her? What expectations does she have for herself?
Cara Saunders and Gabby Magawa, the first 2 done. Matilda Garnes is in 3rd. Paige Zamenza is in 4th. So Saunders right to work along with Magawa.
A lot of times you talk about efficiency in your movement, and whether that's with a barbell, an odd object, handstand walks, it plays into this as well. Efficiency on the traverse, efficiency on the dip, as Gabby Magawa is all over the place on those dips, and a lot of that is she could have got across too fast. Her momentum swings her through, but if you are not efficient in this, you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of energy, as you can kind of see that just being presented right in front of us with Gabby Magawa on these traverses.
Cara Saunders continues to lead. She's through 35 of the 126 scored repetitions. Let's bring in Nikki Brazier down on the competition floor.
I'm noticing that in these early rounds, it takes a minute for these athletes to sort of get the rhythm of these parallel bars, because they're posted up on the left and the right sides of it. The middle tends to bend just a little bit, and that give in the very beginning in these first few rounds is causing some of these athletes to just slip up a little bit. They don't yet understand exactly where their body is going to go on that bend, so it takes a few rounds for them to get used to it, to get used to that rhythm.
Cara Saunders is now onto the barbell for her set of 15. Elisa Fuliano and Rebecca Fuselier are right behind her. Now Brooke Wells has moved into 4th.
Sean, another reason why they may need a couple sets to get comfortable is that these are not in the warm-up area. This is the first time they're really getting their hands on this piece of equipment for these traverses and dips off the parallel bar. In fact, most of these athletes, as crazy as it sounds, probably have more familiarity with the parallel bars inverted and walking across them than they do in that support position and doing dips.
There's Elisa Fuliano, who currently sits in 2nd place. She's out of Italy, making her first career appearance here at the CrossFit Games. About 8 months ago, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And when she got that diagnosis, she figured that I do not have a lot of time to make the CrossFit Games. I need to make this happen now, and here she is. Cara Saunders, meanwhile, back to the parallel bars for her set of 15. Trying to take down Emma McQuaid's top time of 10:42.96 seconds. Saunders with 7 career event wins here at the CrossFit Games. The last one came in 2018 when she won bi-couplet 1.
Brooke Wells completed her set of 15 cleans and is on her way to the dips.
2015 was the year that she
Your top female athletes eagerly awaiting to take on.
that should be 2017, pardon me. 2017 is the year she finished 2nd. That was only 2 points back of Tia Toomey, the closest finish that we have ever seen at the CrossFit Games. Saunders continues to lead here in heat number 3.
Her first set of
More than halfway done. 72 reps of the 126 total down for her. Lisa Fuliano sits in 2nd. It's Paige Semenza now who is moving to 3rd ahead of Brooke Wells.
Cara still doing unbroken sets as we move from 21-15 to 9. Have to go from sets of 7, 5, and 3. What's going to be good for Cara, no problem with the barbell. It's just the traverse and the dips themselves that may be slowing her down a little bit. But now that we're doing sets of 3, it's a massive difference from 5 and 7. So you may see her speed up a little bit towards the tail end of this event.
There's Paige Semenza, who currently sits in 3rd place in this heat. Her 3rd appearance as an individual. She did also compete in 2017 on a team. Former hockey player for Ohio State. Tied for the team leader senior season with 13 goals and had 7 multiple point games and a hat trick versus North Dakota that year.
6 minutes in, athletes are halfway to time pass.
Semenza trying to creep up on Elisa Fuliano for 2nd place in this heat. Brooke Wells is back in 4th, and Carolyn Prevost now sits in 5th place as we are past the halfway point. This event, 12-minute time cap here. Wild Protein Chips, the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. You can order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons, Safeway locations, and King Soopers. Cara Saunders back to the barbell
Eyeing that top time of 10:42.
for her 2nd set of 9 reps. She's on the upper right-hand part of your screen, now in the middle. 92 of the 100, now 93 of the 126 repetitions are in the bag. Elisa Fuliano and Paige Semenza still fighting for 2nd, with Brooke Wells in 4th place right now.
Here we go, right here.
Cara looks nice and relaxed. Technique really hasn't changed at all since the first set of 21. And that's just a good sign of a great mover.
Back to the parallel bars for Cara Saunders. Another set of 9, or 2nd of 3 sets of 9 that she needs to complete.
Now, one thing about these parallel bars, Sean, is traditional parallel bars you may see in a gymnastics gym or even in competition, those are typically made of a wood. These are made of a plastic. You see Cara, she's starting to wipe her wrists on her shorts because you get a sweaty hand on a plastic bar. That is a very treacherous position to be in, as opposed to say a wood bar that you can tack up with chalk.
Carolyn Prevost starting to creep up here. She's the other collegiate hockey player in this heat and has won 11 national championships in 4 different sports. 2 of them came right here in Madison. She was a member of the University of Wisconsin women's hockey team. And in 2011, November 18th and 19th, she became the 17th player in program history to record 100 career points. Cara Saunders is working through her final set of 9 squat cleans, now getting hit with a no rep, and just takes a look at her judge to get clarification and continues to work.
And that's usually what we'll see. And we actually saw this in the complex and semifinals for that strength test. Standing up all the way with the bar before you bring that bar back down. Judges are much more keened in on that, especially after semis.
Saunders has 9 dips remaining. Emma McQuaid has the top time of 10:42.96 seconds. So Saunders has plenty of time to track that down. Now Elisa Fuliano has moved into 2nd ahead of Carolyn Prevost, Brooke Wells in 4th, and Paige Zemenza back in 5th.
Cara's got to be careful, make sure he clears that red tape before she starts her dips.
3 remain for Saunders. 15th place overall coming into this event. Still plenty of events remain, but she would love to get herself inside the top 10 to close out day number 1. Saunders, final 3 reps, and Cara Saunders takes heat 3. 10:31.72 seconds. Elisa Fuliano now with 9 dips remaining and a little more than a minute in which to complete them. Carolyn Prevost on the left side of your screen, starting her final set of 9. Less than a minute to go.
Fuliano on the right just got hit with a no rep.
The final 3 reps for Fuliano.
And she had to work, not only did she have to do an extra rep, but she had to work extra for that last lockout.
Prevost got a no rep and hopped down, so she's got to start the traverse again to close out this last set of 3. She has 1 rep remaining right here. There goes Fuliano on the right side. Prevost's got to get to the end of the bar and complete her reps. Fuliano is done, and she's going to sneak inside that 12-minute time cap. Prevost may have gotten there. It doesn't look like Prevost was able to get her timing chip across the finish line in time, but she, Paige Zemenza, and Brooke Wells look like they all got their final set of 9 dips done, but just not across the finish line. But Cara Saunders is your new event leader with 1 heat remaining at 10:31.72 seconds.
Just smooth from start to finish and really just pushed yourself to the brink towards the end. And that's what you want to see when you come down to these final few dips. You want that last one you do, the last one you could possibly have left in the tank just to maximize what you have left. But man, almost a minute ahead of the pace.
Cara Saunders looking for her 8th career event win. We'll see if that time holds. Fourth heat up next. Inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Nikki Brazier's got us covered down on the competition floor. Glad you're with us, everybody, as we take a look at the overall standings after two events. And these darn kids, Chase. Emma Lawson, the youngest leader at the CrossFit Games in history with 188 points. Haley Adams sits in second. And it's 18-year-old Mal O'Brien in third, with Alexis Raptis and Laurel Horvath rounding out the top five. Tia Toomey sits in ninth.
21-15-9-9-9. Elizabeth is hard enough, Sean, but we got these full squat cleans as they should be and have always been, but the parallel bars, something that has been a staple in the original CrossFit gym and used for training, is now rearing its head again nearly 20 years later.
The ingredients for success presented by Wild Protein Chips.
Seconds.
Ten women in this fourth and final heat. Overall leader Emma Lawson, just 17 years old. She will be right in the middle of the floor. Tia Toomey on the left side of your screen sits in ninth place, and I'm not used to seeing that white jersey on somebody else.
No, it's a weird sight to see on the women's side for sure.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Final heat underway, and it's Cara Saunders with a time to beat at 10:31.72 seconds.
Top 10 women going into this event, and it is going to be very explosive. You're going to see some
Tia Toomey and Ariel Lowen, first to advance their barbells with the entire field right behind them.
Sean, you're talking about Rich Froning back in 2014 having some poor finishes in his fourth and final year, trying to win 4 in a row. And I can remember after one of the worst ones and coming up to a 21-15-9 complex and absolutely attacked it with just about rage fitness. I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar from Tia Toomey, who's sitting in ninth place overall.
less than 5 rounds to go. Who's going to make their way over those?
And just to tell you how dominant she's been in her career, this is the second lowest she's ever stood overall on the leaderboard in her career. Well, Toomey is done with those 21 squat cleans and hustling her way to the parallel bars. Here come Mal O'Brien, Emma Lawson, Laura Horvath, and Ariel Lowen.
Now we talk about Tia Toomey being unfamiliar territory. Outside the top 5, sitting in 9th, not wearing a leader jersey. But what about the unfamiliar territory for someone like Emma Lawson in the individual side, a rookie wearing a leader jersey at 17 years old? Mal O'Brien sitting in the top 3 at 18 years old. All trying to stay away and ahead of Tia Toomey. Everybody's in a weird spot at the moment.
Emma Lawson on the left side of your screen. Last year competed as a 17-year-old in the teenage division and won.
Now, looks like O'Brien on the right has actually already caught up to Tia. Tia's all the way in lane number 1, and O'Brien was behind her coming into the parallel bars, so she has moved in front.
Mal O'Brien and Tia Toomey in the lead now, and they head back to the barbell for their set of 15. And here comes Ariel Lowen.
Tia, top part of your screen, picks up the bar first. Got Tia's background as one of the best athletes in the sport of CrossFit. Qualified for the Olympics in weightlifting. Can move a barbell well and move a barbell fast. She's one of the stronger, if not strongest, in the field.
Christy O'Connell and Alexis Raptis are behind the lead three, as is Emma Watson. Now Haley Adams just got back to the barbell, and Laura Horvath.
Well, one thing I like to see from Mal O'Brien on the right side of your screen is that she is not afraid to go for it. She has aggressive pacing at times, yet she still has the fittest man in history, Matt Fraser, in her corner. And as cerebral as Matt is, he is a great asset for Mal O'Brien.
Tia Tui's parents are here. Her entire family is here. In fact, her sisters also made the trip over. The first time that they have gotten to see her compete in person.
Tia got to the parallel bars first at the round of 21. Had to take some breaks. That opened the door for Mal O'Brien. Mal O'Brien is just getting the parallel bars behind Lowen. Tia's taking a pretty big break.
And Tia's parents are right behind lane 5. That's usually where she's working because she's in the lead.
And Tia slowing down a bit on these traverses.
She is ahead of Ariel Lowen, who's on the left.
Lowen is catching up. They were well behind Tia once Tia had got to the parallel bars.
There's Mal O'Brien on the left side of your screen. She sits in third place behind Toomey and Lowen. Christy O'Connell and Alexis Raptis still inside the top 5.
Tia Claire on the right. Now the thing that these traverses do, as we said earlier, they disrupt and interfere with the lockout of the dip. That last inch or two to lock the arms out. So that's going to add up. It's going to take its toll after 63. And it'll be 21 total traverses if they can go unbroken.
Tia Toomey and Ariel Lowen back to the barbell at the same time, past the 5-minute mark. Cara Saunders with the time to beat, 10:31.72 seconds.
Tia's big advantage in the 21 and 15 was actually her cycle rate on the barbell. That tends to dissipate as we get towards the shorter round. She can't make up as much time on the barbell. Now when we get to the parallel bar shot, the one thing that doesn't change in this event is the distance of the traverse on the parallel bars, which seems to be one of the movements that is actually slowing her down and is the only movement that is not getting easier.
Ariel Lowen gets right to work on those parallel bars, so she is now ahead of Tia Toomey. They're on their first set of 9. They have 3 rounds of 9 that they need to complete.
Look at the smaller sets by Ariel Lowen in the back. What that allows her to do is spend less time in that active press down position as she walks her way across. Toomey has much bigger strides, but it has more tension in the shoulders. Look at those strides. Big steps, big grip, a lot of shoulders. Ariel Lowen to the left, quick chopping, quick, 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 quick. That's a lot less tension on the shoulders.
Final set of 3 here in round number 1 of 9.
Ariel Lowen is done, and now Ariel Lowen is in the lead. She's never finished higher than 6th in an event at the CrossFit Games. As you take one more look at the technique that Lowen was employing on the parallel bars.
Very short, choppy steps. Look at her shoulders too. You want to see someone who's in control? Her shoulders are pressed down. She's in an engaged position. Otherwise, what you want to look for that athletes don't have the same level of stability is their shoulders will jam up into their ears.
Lowen on her second set of 9. And now Mal O'Brien has moved into second, ahead of Tia Toomey, who's now in a battle for 3rd with Christy O'Connell.
Ariel Lowen last year in her rookie debut. Great performance overall at the end of the weekend. She's no stranger to the competition. She has been in this game for a long time. The only break she took was to have a child. Came back because her coach told her to. She almost gave up the game.
Danielle Brandon on the right side is creeping up a little bit. She has now cracked the top 5. Ariel Lowen through 102 of the 126 total scored repetitions. And meanwhile, two of the women who are towards the top of the overall standings, Haley Adams and Emma Lawson, are now just getting back to the barbell for the second time in these 3 sets of 9. Wild Protein Chips, the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. You can order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons, Safeway locations, and King Soopers.
Ariel Lowen is attacking these final 3 sets of 9. And if you're wondering where it came from, she qualified out of the last chance qualifier where she won 3 of the 4 with some of the best in the field. And what I love that I'm seeing from a lot of these athletes is that it almost feels like they now have light at the end of the Tia tunnel. That if you can see Superman bleed, that's blood in the water for the Sharks. And with this next gen of athletes, the Mal O'Briens, the Emma Lawsons, the Haley Adams, Ariel Lowen, her 2nd year at the games only, it puts a glimmer of hope and a reason to push past your limits knowing there could be a chance.
Ariel Lowen with 9 reps remaining. 10:31.72 seconds is the time to beat. Tia Toomey has fallen back into 5th place as Danielle Brandon has continued to charge up the standings here. She now sits in a battle for 2nd with Mal O'Brien and Christy O'Connell. O'Connell and Brandon are on the right side of your screen. And there goes Ariel Lowen. 6 reps remain. Danielle Brandon and Christy O'Connell fighting for 2nd place with Mal O'Brien. So Ariel Lowen trying to lock up her first career event win here at the CrossFit Games. The crowd comes to its feet as Ariel Lowen is on her final set of 3. And Ariel Lowen has an event win in Madison. Christy O'Connell, Danielle Brandon, and Mal O'Brien fighting for 2nd. And O'Brien is across. O'Connell is in.
Now times from the previous heat with Cara Saunders coming into play.
And Danielle Brandon is across. So Tia Toomey is still out there. She's on the top of your screen, has 3 reps remaining. She is your leader on the floor right now. But as you mentioned, Chase, times from prior heats are starting to play in right now.
Sean, we're approaching the time cap right now. I don't think I've mentioned the word time cap and Tia Toomey ever.
3 reps remain for Toomey, and she is in.
And not to conjure up drama for drama's sake, what I'm looking at now is what's coming up tomorrow, because we didn't get to do the heavy shoulder to overhead as event 2, but now we have to do it after skills tests, traverses, ring dips, squat cleans.
And Emma Lawson is in danger of getting capped here. She's going to try to sneak across, and she may have done it. Right now, it's showing that Lawson did not get her timing chip across the finish line, but she did get all the work done. Haley Adams got capped, as did Laura Horvath and Jacqueline Dahlstrom.
Female athletes are elite women. One more time, put your hands together.
But Tia Toomey having a very un-Tia-like first day.
Our runners had come out hot and do some rage fitness. I retract said statement because that didn't work out like we thought it was going to. In fact, I don't think that worked out as anyone thought it was going to, as Ariel Lowen comes out, wins 3 of the 4 last chance qualifier events, and takes it to the 5-time champ, Tia Claire Toomey, and getting an event win here at the CrossFit Games.
Ariel Lowen with her first career event win at the CrossFit Games. Cara Saunders is going to finish in second, followed by Mal O'Brien, who looks to take the leader's jersey from Emma Lawson. Tia Toomey down in 9th place in the event. Nikki Brazier is with Ariel Lowen.
Ariel, I think the smile on your face in the end really said it all. What was going through your mind when you looked left and right and realized that you were in the lead in that event?
I was a little bit in shock. And then my motto just for this whole weekend is Proverbs 21:31. The horse prepares for the day of battle, but the victory rests with the Lord. So I trained my butt off, and hallelujah.
Now this was, I mean, we're all familiar with dips. That's a basic movement, but adding that traverse really seemed like a game changer. How did it affect you in this event?
It actually was what I look forward to the most.
Really?
Growing up gymnast, taught gymnastics for many years, so this was just like smiling. I was at my home gym, showing the girls what to do. It was fun.
Now you said it when you first walked up to me. This is mom strength right here, for sure. And I think a lot of people might have a difficult time coming back from having a baby, from entering motherhood. How do you use it to your advantage?
I think you can overcome anything with the Lord and the right mindset, but it's taught me that CrossFit's amazing, but there's more to life. And seeing my daughter here, and she's here supporting me, it just means the world. And this is just icing on the cake.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ariel Lowen with 100 points and her first career event win. Women are done. We close things out with the men next at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Closing out day number 1 here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. The women are done with event 4. The men up next here at the Coliseum, the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for staying with us, everybody, on this Wednesday evening. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. And Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Chase, a question I know you love getting in your gym. Is it squat or power?
Oh, Sean, it's my favorite question in the world. 21:15.999, elevated Elizabeth. When I think of 21:15.9 benchmark girl workouts, this is one of the toughest ones there are. And these traverses on the dip bar is showing to be a very formidable movement that some of these athletes may not be ready for.
Ingredients for success, presented by Wild.
Said yes, these are squat cleans as they always should have been when we talk about the benchmark workout Elizabeth, and anytime it's on my whiteboard and I don't write power, it is squat. Thank you for asking, and if you knew, you know. The parallel bars has been a staple of the original CrossFit gym and has been encouraged to be in other CrossFit gyms itself. We've seen tests and YouTube videos, so this is nothing new. It's just new at the games.
Let's bring in Mike Arsenault, who's down on the competition floor.
Just building on that point, Chase, yes, this is the first time parallel bars have made an appearance in a CrossFit Games competition. So you might be thinking, well, they're a new implement, anything but. Annie Sakamoto, a member of our Games broadcasting team, was a member of the original CrossFit affiliate back in 2004, and they used parallel bars daily as they were unparalleled in developing overall strength. So from the original affiliate back in 2004 to the first appearance in the Games 18 years later.
Unparalleled. I see what you did there, Mike. First of 4 heats for the men. 4 rookies in the field. Arthur Semenoff, Austin Spencer, Tudor Magda, and Cole Griesaber, all making their first individual appearances here at the CrossFit Games. And there is Tudor Magda, who
I think he just saw himself on the big screen and was not thrilled about that. Tudor, who we talked earlier in the skills test, he's one of the best handstand walkers in the men's division, did not get to showcase that at all as he actually got stuck on the single unders. What we're talking with Ariel Lowen is that having that shoulder stability I wouldn't be surprised if he has a decent showcase here of that on those parallel bars.
Stand by.
Heat number 1 of 4 is underway. We start with those 21 squat cleans. Athletes advancing the barbell every seven repetitions. And then it's down to the parallel bars. 21 dips.
Sinarv on the right part of the screen. He's dealing with basically dual hamstring issues. He's being very conservative with that, still gunning it out. Seeing athletes do that over the years. You work so hard to get here, the last thing you wanted to do is have something outside of your realm of fitness derail you. And Sean, one thing to note here, the women had a 12-minute cap. The men have a 10-minute cap. And so if these athletes want to get through 63 squat cleans and ring dips with 21 traverses on top of that on the parallel bars, is that there is no room really for pacing in this event.
Wild Protein Chips, the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. Order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They are also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons Safeway locations, and King Soopers.
Couple of no reps from this judge. Will that allow Georgios
Andre Uday
or Andre Uday to take
on the
over that
bottom
top
left-hand part of your screen is your leader with Tudor Magda and Baden Brown right there with him. Yorius Karavis is also towards the front.
On these dips, obviously a lot different than the rings. They're more stable. That part tends to make it a bit easier. The traverse makes it more difficult. Range of motion wise, the shoulder has to get below the top of the elbow, a lot like you would see in, say, a squat as far as getting below parallel, where the hips got to get below the top of the knee. They don't have to bring their shoulders all the way to the actual bar itself. They just have to break that 90-degree angle from the elbow to the shoulder.
Tudor Magda at the top of your screen and Andre Uday in the middle, the first men done with that set of 21 dips. And Baden Brown heading back to the barbell for his round of 15 now. Augustin Riquelme, Tim Paulson, Alex Vigneault, and Cole Griesaber.
In the center part, you see Tudor Magda. One of his better performances at semifinals was actually in the lift itself, as well as the handstand walk. So a unique set of skill sets for the young athlete.
We talk about how young these athletes are now picking up this sport. He started CrossFit when he was 9 years old, when he started attending classes with his dad. Andre Uday on the right side of your screen, in the middle of that box on the right. He is your leader through 52 reps. He and Baden Brown trading first place right now. Tudor Magda right there as well on the bottom left-hand part of your screen.
What's interesting for Uday is he's not even moving his feet. So his cycle rate is going to be a little bit faster. Not necessarily the most ideal position to be in if you're thinking about the clean itself from a technical aspect, but seeing as that this is for time, it doesn't really matter as long as the job gets done and the range of motion is hit.
Andre Uday and Baden Brown back to the parallel bars. Their set of 15, and Brown almost slipped off of those. Uday gets through his first set of 5.
And this is the thing when fatigue starts to settle in. And maybe you've never been on parallel bars before. These are not in the warm-up area. I've seen some athletes in the warm-up area doing a makeshift. They're actually taking parallettes, stacking them on top of plates just to get some sort of feel for the movement.
Tim Paulson is making a push towards the top. Paulson's in the black shirt towards the top of your screen, gray shorts.
We talked about Tudor Magda being a unique athlete, strength and skills as far as barbell and handstand walks. Tim Paulson is also one of those athletes, very strong, very capable, but he's also very good inverted for things like handstand walks. Now, we're not upside down, but some of the same mechanics apply. Having your arms locked out in a stable position, having shoulder stamina, having shoulder strength. There is some carryover between those two movements and these traverses on the parallel bars.
Tim Paulson, Cole Griesaber, and Andre Uday back to the barbell to start their first of 3 rounds of 9. Uday is on the right, Paulson is on the left. Andre Uday's parents have been running one of Denmark's top restaurants. It has a Michelin star consistently for many years in a row.
See 2 different clean styles between Uday on the right and Paulson on the left. As I said on the previous set, Uday keeps his feet still, but watch Tim Paulson on the left. That's something more you would traditionally see as far as an efficient clean movement. The feet are moving and allows him to be faster underneath the bar. Where Uday has a bit, cycle rate is a little bit quicker because he's not moving his feet, he's not extending all the way through the middle part of the pull.
Cole Griesaber has moved into the lead. He's in the black shorts now, just hopping up and on the parallel bars. And he was a competitive gymnast for 10 years before giving up at 14 years old so he could play other sports. So not unfamiliar for him right here.
No, we've seen that play out so far, especially on the women's side. We talked about Ariel Lowen's skill set and background. Competitive gymnast for so long, but also a coach in the same field, and being on parallel bars, knowing how to stack your body as far as the most optimal position to be in from a strength perspective, just using your body in space. It's a very big advantage that these athletes can tap into that experience.
Griesaber is through 90 of the 126 total scored repetitions here, and again, a 10-minute time cap for the men. He'll start his second of 3 rounds of 9 on the 135-pound barbell. Tim Paulson still remains in second place, trying to hold off Andre Uday. Alex Vigneault has moved into the top 5, and Baden Brown is now back in 5th.
Sean, we talk a lot about the teenage girls coming up through the ranks, making a splash here on the individual side, and the question always been, where are the men at? Where are old teenage athletes making their way in? Griesaber is one of those athletes, along with Dallin Pepper, Tudor Magna. So you're starting to see that trickle in just a few years later.
Griesaber is now done with his second set of 9 cleans, as he is starting to put some distance between himself and Tim Paulson and Andre Uday. Paulson and Uday fighting for second place in this heat right now. First of 4 heats for the men. And again, this is event 4 on your schedule, but just the 3rd event that the athletes have done on this opening day. Event number 2 was supposed to take place earlier this afternoon inside the North Park, and because of weather, it had to be postponed until tomorrow. So a day off for the individuals has now turned into a competition day on Thursday. They will have 1 event tomorrow afternoon.
And I really think after the day they've had today, that's going to be a much different test than it would have been had it happened in the second event of today. So I'm very curious to see what the carryover and the interference are from 10 miles of bike sprinting, 63 squat cleans, ring dips, pegboard, handstand walks. Tomorrow you're going to be pretty dialed in.
Final round of 9 for Griesaber. He's through 108 of the 126 total repetitions. Tim Paulson has moved ahead of Andre Uday for second. And Agustin Riquelme now sits in 5th place as Alex Vigneault remains inside the top 5.
Is chipping away at these reps. All 3 reps away from finishing.
Final 3 cleans for Griesaber. Yes. 1 minute. Complete these final 9 dips.
Finish here. He is 1 minute to get 9 reps, 9 parallel bar dips. But they're not just any dips, Mickey. You know, you gotta walk, go walk.
First 3 reps down for Griesaber.
Looking to turn to the crowd, get behind the young rookie. As Kiki said, 40 seconds remain.
Athletes, you have 30 seconds.
Pull with 3 reps to go.
Final reps for Grease Saber, and he's going to make it inside that 10-minute time cap to take heat number 1. It looks like he will be the only man to finish inside that time cap.
We mentioned at the top, this time cap is very tight for these male athletes. Now, what Grease Saber made up all his time, though, is his proficiency on the parallel bars.
There's Andre Uday signing his scorecard, but this was the battle early for the top spot between Andre Uday and Tim Paulson, but then Grease Saber took over.
Yeah, Uday and Paulson doing what you think you should do is cycling the bar quickly, trying to get out ahead as early as you can, but I think we're underestimating how tough these parallel bar traverses are making the back end of these dips on the parallel bars.
Grease Saber, the only man to finish that event inside the 10-minute time cap, does it with 12 seconds to spare, 9:48.01 seconds. Paulson and Uday were 6 reps shy. Alex Vigneault, 14 reps shy, and Baden Brown rounding out the top 5.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, heat number 2 making their way out on that competition floor. In lane number 10, Colton Merton. Lane number 9, Jason Hopper. In lane number 8, Henrik Hopalainen. In lane number 7, Enrico Zanobi.
Event number 4 rolls on here for the men. Benchmarks are always fun, but why not make it even worse?
Couldn't be simpler, Sean. So old Pat Sherwood would say is that you got squat cleans and dips, yet we're gonna add a couple reps at the end, make sure everybody gets below parallel as they should, and those parallel bar traverses ends up being possibly the end-all be-all of this particular event. Yes, squat cleans, as it should always be done when you're talking about Elizabeth, but the parallel bars is nothing new if you know the history of your CrossFit methodology. What that means for the future, a bit more fun practice in the gym, that's what I think.
10 men in this second of 4 heats. 3 rookies will be on the floor. Colton Mertens will be in lane number 10.
Martins is one of the smaller athletes, but he's also one of the stronger ones. And when you think about cycling a barbell, squat cleans at 135, that is going to be a good movement for his skill set and strength in this event.
Saxon Panchik had a career year last year. He finished 5th overall for CrossFit Games. Right now, 23rd place overall.
Definitely not the start that he's wanted to. He just hasn't had a clean run yet. Hopefully he can get things squared away after this event.
Second of 4 heats has begun. 9 minutes 48.01 seconds is the time to beat. That belongs to Cole Grease Saber, who did that in the prior heat.
Now, if you want to get under the time cap, you don't have to send the beginning. You don't need to go unbroken. Quick singles will work just fine. If you want to get out of this heat, you're going to have to push the pace a lot faster than maybe you were prepared to, depending on how you came in on the leaderboard.
There is Brent Fikowski in lane 3, just looking like he's just dropping right under it.
He is, and he's not extending the hips through the middle, and it's not necessary as far as completing the full range of motion of the clean in this setting. And for Fikowski, you look at something like a squat clean. Anthropometrics has a big part in this. If you have, if you're a smaller athlete, your cycle rate is faster. Fikowski, being one of the taller ones, is just trying to get any type of mechanical advantage as he can. So not standing up through the pull is one way he can cycle the bar a little bit faster along with some of the smaller athletes.
Jay Crouch is the first man done with that 21 cleans, and he's moving to the parallel bars. Here comes Brent Fikowski. Wild protein chips are the official protein chips of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. Order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons Safeway locations, and King Supers.
All these athletes are a little shaky on their first traverse. Fikowski, now this is actually deliberate. Look at the backswing on Fikowski. So he's going to turn around. He actually has big steps on the traverse, but watch this next set. Fikowski is notorious for finding little tricks that he can do. So he's going to swing the feet and use that backswing as momentum to help lock it out. It's a little different kip. This is more, I mean, if you wanted to call it a glide kip like we would see on a bar, that is one of those, but that's just a little trick for Fikowski to help him lock out those dips.
Jay Crouch, meanwhile, has finished his first set of dips, and he is back to the barbell all by himself to begin the round of 15.
Now, the time at which he really extended on everybody was during these cleans in the set of 21.
Colton Mertens is now in second, followed by Guillaume Briand and Travis Mayer. Let's bring in Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor.
We've seen two different strategies on the cleans, either unbroken mini sets or singles, or breaking up those mini sets as you go. So I was curious, what is the best strategy? Chase, I know I usually come to you with these questions, but when you have five-time CrossFit Games champion Matt Fraser in the warm-up area, you go to him. And he told me, and I quote, there's no way he'd be dropping the bar in this event. The weight is too light, and that's including that he hasn't been in competition shape in 2 years. So Chase, I apologize, but you have as many CrossFit Games championships as I do.
It's funny that you mentioned that, is that I was actually talking to Ben Smith about Laura Horvath because he's been coaching her, and he says Laura hasn't touched a 95-pound barbell in about 6 months. So that barbell cycling, Mike, as you're referencing to, with the caliber of athletes in this field, it is a near irrelevant piece of equipment if you have all your boxes checked. If not, you're going to have to navigate that in the best way you can.
Jay Crouch continues to lead her. Colton Mertens sits in second. Travis Mayer, Brent Fikowski, and Guillaume Briand are fighting for third as Mertens makes his way back to the parallel bars on the bottom left-hand part of your screen to start his set of 15. Baden Brown making his 4th career appearance here at the CrossFit Games. His best finish was in 2020 when he finished 11th overall. And there is Colton Mertens, his 2nd appearance as an individual. He was on a team back in 2018 with CrossFit Kilo. They finished 18th that year.
Mertens looking much better on this set than he did on the first one in this round of 21. As we said earlier, is that these are not in the warm-up area. So they aren't able to practice on this specifically. They've been doing some makeshift work in the back. They've been using parallettes on plates just to get a feel for that lockout position. With the way these parallel bars bend, it's a big difference. And Mertens on the right side, this is where I think he may be able to put some distance or close the distance on Crouch a little bit. His ability to cycle a barbell, the strength that he has in his legs, is going to be a valuable asset on the back half of this event.
You're past the halfway point of this second of 4 heats. 10-minute time cap here. Only one man so far has finished the event. That was Cole Griesaber in heat number 1. 9:48.01 seconds is the time to beat as Jay Crouch is done with his first round of 9, as is Colton Mertens. So Mertens starting to reel in Jay Crouch. Crouch chalking up his hands in the middle of the screen there. Took a look to his left and saw Mertens bearing down on him, and Colton Mertens is now in the lead.
Mertens didn't even look to the right. He just went right up on the parallel bars and hopped up. Now he'll look across to see where Crouch is at. I like that move from Mertens. You be surprised about the mind games that can be played on the competition floor. And one of those is resting very little, transitioning between the two. Looking over, seeing where your competitors are, hopping up before they see you. There's a lot of tricks out there some athletes can use to their advantage.
Mertens is now in the lead, heads back to the barbell for his second of 3 sets of 9. He's through 90 of the 126 scored repetitions in this event.
You talk about confidence, how about running to your barbell from the parallel bars? I haven't seen anybody do that so far.
Cole Grisaber's time to beat, the bottom left-hand part of your screen.
First time we've seen Mertens break all the way through this set of 21-15 and first set of 9. He did his first 3 cleans unbroken and now opting for this quick singles. And as long as he can keep moving, hey, sometimes you just need a little breather, get the pump out of your legs and go back to it. And that's what we see Mertens doing.
Mertens done with his second round of 9 on the barbell. Jason Hopper is next to him. Hopper right now is in 10th place in this heat, as Mertens has really separated himself from Jay Crouch for the top spot in this heat right now. And now Mertens is going to try to zero in on Cole Grisaber's top time of 9:48.01 seconds.
Mertens looks very strong. The good thing too is he just looks calm. A lot of times you want to see where an athlete's state of mind is. You can see it on their face in the middle of an event, whether it's during breaks, in between reps on the cleans. Mertens looks great.
And Mertens is done. 18 reps remain. 9 on the barbell, 9 more on the parallel bars.
There it is, 8 minutes on the clock.
Less than 2 to go before we hit the time cap. Mertens through his first 3.
Set of 2, set of 1. On his last set, he went 3 singles and 3. And a lot of that just means he is pushing himself to the edge. Because this isn't a weight, this isn't a rep scheme that should really force Mertens into singles, but the pace at which he's been trying to go since the beginning, this is a necessity. And sometimes it's that little shoulder break that he's gonna need on these traverses.
Mertens once again right to work on the parallel bars. Looking to overtake Cole Grisaber and set the top time with 2 heats remaining. Austin Spencer has not come across the finish line. He may have accidentally tripped his time chip. Mertens now with 3 reps remaining. And Colton Mertens is going to do it, and he has the new top time at the halfway point of event number 4. 9:24.49 seconds. Enrico Zanoni is the man in the white belt. He currently sits in 2nd place. And he's going to have to hurry if he wants to get himself across the finish line. Inside the time cap is now just Cole Grisaber and Colton Mertens, the only 2 men to finish this event inside that 10-minute time cap.
Can we go with more? What's that, brother? Making a decision.
Colton Mertens, his best event finish, 15th, and that was an event 4 last year at the CrossFit Games.
Crouch it out early. First set of 21. Trying to hold off Mertens that middle set of 15, but it was his 3rd set, or this first set of 9, where Mertens made his move. He was unbroken through about 80% of the event, but he got better and better on the parallel bars as he came to them. His first set of 7 was a little shaky, but he dialed it in towards the end.
Colton Mertens, 9:24.49 seconds. Now the best time that we have seen, just again 2 men have finished this event inside the 10-minute time cap. 2 heats remain here from the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Two heats down, 2 to go for the men in Elizabeth Elevated, event number 4.
file this under events I never want to do. Elizabeth elevated 63 total squat cleans, 63 dips off the parallel bars, but add another 21 traverses in there to tax the athletes, especially in their shoulders. And yes, squat cleans. Get below parallel, stand up all the way it was meant to be done. And if you knew, you know. The past presents itself in the present, and who knows where the present takes us in the future. But we got something new on the competition floor for the first time.
Here are the 10 men in this third of 4 heats. Jorgen Carl Gudmundsson in lane number 6 comes in 12th place overall and looking to get himself inside the top 10 heading into day number 2.
Seen a lot of athletes in unfamiliar positions on both the men and the women's side. BKG sitting in the second to last heat in 12th overall is not a familiar position for him to be in. However, his skill set and his background, like I said, he does not have a lot of weaknesses. Cycling a barbell at this light weight for these athletes and his gymnastics background on parallel bars, we see that be a huge asset to athletes in this event in particular.
Jorgen Carl Gudmundsson debuted at the CrossFit Games in 2014. He finished 26th. Since then, he's been back every single year, and he's never finished lower than 8th. Third of 4 heats here for the men in Elizabeth elevated. Only 2 men have finished, Colton Mertens and Cole Griesaber. Mertens with the best time at 9:24.49 seconds.
Rowan on the far right, only one opting for quick singles at the moment. So advance every 7 reps.
Take down that top time. Lots to find out here as it is a virtual who's who. We saw
Cole Sager, Noah Olson, Sam Quant, Lawrence Fiebig, and Nick Matthew all towards the front here. And Sager, Quant, Olson, and Fiebig were the first to advance their barbells to their final set of 7 on this opening set of 21.
Noah Olson, no surprise there. Coming out hot to start the event. Trying to lean into the crowd to keep him across, keep that pace up, hopefully.
Sam Quant is right next to him, Morris Fiebig and Cole Sager as well. Olsen getting a no rep for not locking out. Wild Protein Chips are the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. You can order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. Also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons, Safeway locations, and King Soopers. 126 total scored repetitions in this event. Noah Olson is now through 35 of those, looking to close out this first set of 21 dips on the parallel bars. Sam Quant to the left sits in second along with Cole Sager and Nick Matthew. Jorgen Gudmundsson also putting some pressure on Noah Olson.
Noah Olson, it's his second or third no rep just for a lockout, so the judge is definitely looking for that, as they should. Because with these traverses over the parallel bars, that is what it's really taxing. Yes, it's shoulder stamina and stability, but the ability to lock your elbows out to finish that dip is the position you're fixed in the entire traverse over the parallel bar. So that is a big, big difference between that end lockout.
Let's send it down to Mike Arsenault with more on Nick Matthew.
Well, the crop top powered Matthew to 100 points in event number 3. He told me he's been wearing it in competition since 2018. It's his good luck charm. There's his cheering section right there. They don't have the crop tops on, but they have the Nick Matthew fan club lime green shirts. Full disclosure, I tried to give myself a crop top in the bathroom mirror 20 minutes ago, and I don't have the obliques for it, unfortunately. It's important to know your limitations, guys.
I say to the athletes as well as the commentators, know your strengths and weaknesses.
I don't know if we're all winners for that or losers. Noah Olson continuing to lead. Nick Matthew, who, thanks to that event win in the skill speed medley, sits in 11th place overall. So he can find himself in the top 10 with a strong performance here. heading into day number 2, but Noah Olsen continues to lead. And we talked about the consistency that Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson has had at the CrossFit Games. Noah Olsen also debuted at the Games in 2014. Since then, he's only finished outside the top 10 once, and that was in 2016 when he took 15th place.
And for Noah, he's always been a very, very talented athlete. The big thing for him was always just putting all the pieces together, getting them all in line, and those stars really aligned for him when he made the podium in 2019. And for him, it's just maximizing strengths. It's not about getting them. It's about utilizing his abilities to the max. And a lot of times that centers around game plan and strategy.
Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson has now moved himself into the lead. And Gudmundsson, despite all of his success at the CrossFit Games, has only won 2 events in his career.
I would have lost money on that bet.
And now Gudmundsson is in the lead here, ahead of Noah Olsen, Nick Matthew, and Uldis Upniks now fighting for second. Upniks at the bottom of your screen, Nick Matthew in the signature crop top. Now this is their first of 3 sets of 9, advancing the barbell every 3.
And Gudmundsson advances the barbell in the front rack position. First time he's done that. In fact, at the end of the set of 7s on the round of 21, he opted for quick singles, and this may have been a setup because we said before, don't fall into the trap that it's a set of 9. When you read that, you kind of think that we know it's 3 sets of 7, but think of it more as 27. 27 of these squat cleans to finish it out.
Nick Matthew continues to impress here on day number 1, is now moved into second place behind Gudmundsson. Uldis Upniks and Noah Olsen right behind him, as Upniks is going to be the first man of those 3 to the parallel bars, as Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson is now on his second set of 3. 9 total here, 3 more before he'll go back to the barbell for another set of 9 squat cleans. Gudmundsson, another athlete with a lot of gymnastics experience, with 9 years of gymnastics under his belt before he started CrossFit. His brother actually signed him up for the Open in 2012.
That's the way to do it.
3 minutes if these athletes want to take down that time.
Here you see what Gudmundsson has done since debuting at the Games in 2014. 2 podium finishes, but again, just 2 event wins in his career, and he's competed in 102 total events.
Gudmundsson advancing in the front rack again, all the way through this time.
Now to his second set of 9 parallel bar dips. Uldis Upniks is in the bottom right-hand corner. He's fighting with Nick Matthew for second place in the heat. Noah Olsen is on pace with those 2. Sam Quant now sits in 5th.
And one thing you'll see from BKG on the left side of your screen is on this traverse is his legs stay very still and very stiff. From other athletes, we see them pulling their knees up, trying to gain an advantage, and that's extra movement. You can see on the right side with Upniks, tucking the knees. It does give you a little bit of extra kind of oomph to get you down the line. But for BKG is that you really see that gymnastics background come into play here, is that, you know, straight lines, squeeze knees, pointed toes. That's a big thing of that.
Gudmundsson is done and on to his final round now. The time to beat again belongs to Colton Mertens, 9:24.49 seconds. Only he and Cole Griesaber have been able to finish this event inside the 10-minute time cap. And we talked to Adrian Bosman earlier about this event, and he said, if you don't go unbroken, you probably don't have a chance of finishing with a solid time.
And BKG looks so smooth, and that's the thing, is unbroken, I think often gets mischaracterized as fast or out of control. Unbroken is fast because it is unbroken. That's the whole point of cycling a barbell. And a lot of times you'll see athletes go unbroken, but also try to rush the movement too much, thinking that's the more speed that you're gonna get out of it.
And 9 reps remain for Gudmundsson. He's got less than a minute to go before we run into Mertens' top time at 9:24.49 seconds. We still have one heat to go after this. 6 reps to go for Gudmundsson, and it's going to be close. 24 seconds to go before we hit Mertens' mark. Three left for Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson. He's got 10 seconds. And Gudmundsson is going to do it. 9:20.11 seconds for Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson for the new top time, and he barely looks winded. Noah Olsen, Uldis Upniks, and Nick Matthew are fighting for second place right now, and Olsen is going to get in.
Good for Olsen being able to hold on to that pace. I know he didn't lead it, but to at least keep that pace, it's good for Olsen.
Uldis Upniks came across 9:46. Nick Matthew with a no rep there and is able to fight through it, and Nick Matthew sneaking in. 4 men in heat number 3. Finished that event inside the time cap. Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson, 9 minutes, 20.11 seconds. And Noah Olsen said it a lot out front early.
Yeah, tell me if you've heard this one before. Noah Olsen comes out hot, but he held on to it pretty decently towards the end, but it was BKG. Smooth, methodical, good technique, great pacing. You see how relaxed he is in his face on both the cleans, but his traverse and his stamina on the dips, that got him the edge in this heat.
Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson looking for his 3rd career event win at the CrossFit Games. 9 minutes, 20.11 seconds is 4 seconds better than Colton Mertens, Noah Olsen, Uldis Upniks, and Nick Matthew, the other men to finish this event inside the time cap. One heat remains for the men as we close out day 1 of competition here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Event number 4 is a benchmark. We'll have more on that, but here are your overall standings with Ricky Garrard and Justin Medeiros in a dead tie in points, but Garrard has the tiebreak because of the event win. Yona Koski sits in 3rd. Jeff Adler is tied with Roman Krennikov in points, and Pat Vellner is now inside the top 10. It's Elizabeth elevated for event number 4.
21:15.999, cleans at 135, dips off the parallel bar, but with those traverses, we've seen that be a big deciding factor with your top athletes. Everybody's got a gym member that asked that question, Sean. Mine's name is Jimmy, and he won't mind me outing him here on the broadcast. But yes, these are squat cleans. And if you knew, you know, parallel bars are nothing new to the CrossFit training methodology. However, they are new to the CrossFit Games floor.
Top 10 men in the overall standings are on the floor, and the 2 men who are dead even at 188 points right next to each other. Ricky Garrard on the left, Justin Medeiros on the right.
Ricky Garrard still in 1st place, wearing that leader jersey. Justin Medeiros, your reigning fittest man on earth, tied to the top of the leaderboard. But look for Adler on the far right of your screen. He can handle a bar, he's got great pressing strength, and he has one of the better Elizabeth times in the men's field.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kiki, all eyes are on this competition.
Final heat is underway. Top time, Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson, 9:20.11 seconds. There's Pat Vellner in the black shirt. Had a Pat Vellner-like finish in event 1, finished 20th, but as he usually does, he has been working his way up the overall standings and currently sits in 8th place overall.
It's a good event for Vellner. Obviously with his background in gymnastics. Ricky Garrard I think for him in this event in particular, he's just got to stay in control in the round of 21 and the round of 15. The guy is a brawler. He really likes to get into the mix early. But I think for this event, we said earlier, those traverses are a definite game changer for this event. Save some of that intensity on the back half in those 3 sets of 9.
Roman Krennikov is now through 18 of those 21 reps. Wild Protein Chips are the official protein chip of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. You can order online or find them nationwide at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and select Target locations. They're also available regionally at Costco, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant, select Albertsons Safeway locations, and King Supers. Roman Krennikov, first man to the parallel bars. Here comes Pat Vellner, Ricky Garrard, Yona Koski, Lazar Jukic, Justin Medeiros, and Jeff Adler.
If you don't follow the game season, other than what happens here on the floor, you might not really know who Roman Krennikov is, and he has been knocking on the door for 4 years. He has actually qualified for the CrossFit Games and has not actually been able to compete because of travel restrictions. So he might be one of the most seasoned rookies we have here at the CrossFit Games.
He was able to compete in stage 1 of the Games in 2020 virtually, but that's because he did not have to travel. But he's been in the United States for a while as he finally got the visa to come over, and as a result, he missed the birth of his son. He just met his firstborn child earlier this week. Vellner and Krennikov, 1 and 2 right now in this final heat. Ricky Garrard sits in 3rd, and Yona Koski is in 4th. Here comes Justin Medeiros now back to the barbell.
Krennikov on the left. He's just an athlete that has a high tolerance for pain. An exceptional work capacity. And he's not afraid to go out early and take it to the field and see if anybody else can hang on to the pace that he starts with. Krennikov is one of the more fearless athletes when it comes to that kind of thing in the field for the men.
And Krennikov in the offseason put on some weight. He's one of the heavier athletes in the field. He's above 220 pounds. He wanted to add to his strength, and we talked to him earlier in the week via a translator, and he said that that weight has not affected his endurance.
Which is incredible, because usually to offset a strength deficiency, yes, you do have to gain some weight, and that's usually at a detriment to the things you're good at. Body weight being one of those in conditioning, and to not have that happen is huge for Krennikov.
Vellner and Krennikov onto the parallel bars. And Pat Vellner, another former gymnast in the field here, as Ricky Garrard is in 3rd place. And here comes Yona Koski, who sits in 4th.
Look at the speed of Vellner on these traverses. Straight arms. We haven't seen anybody move at that speed.
Vellner through 67 of the 126 total repetitions. And now Pat Vellner has the lead. Vellner back to the barbell to begin his first of 3 rounds of 9. Here comes Roman Krennikov, who is now in 2nd place. Ricky Garrard is back to the barbell.
3 reps, like I was saying, separate Vellner and Krennikov. Garrard about 5 reps behind Vellner.
Final 3 reps in this opening set of 9 for Pat Vellner. Roman Krennikov, top of your screen, is in 2nd. Ricky Garrard is in 3rd. Justin Medeiros back to the barbell to start his round of 9. Here comes Lazar Jukic, who's starting to put a little pressure on Justin Medeiros. Vellner right to work on the parallel bars.
If you want to know what it's supposed to look like, that's what it's supposed to look like. To have that capability, that efficiency and that strength, coupled with the technique of his movement, is an absolute weapon in an event like this where your rep schemes are decreasing. You go down 21, 15, and 3 sets of 9. The dips decrease. The distance on the traverse stays the same. It's nearly 150 feet of total traversing on the parallel bars.
And Pat Vellner has opened up a sizable lead on Roman Krennikov as Vellner is through 93 of the 126 total scored repetitions, looking for his 6th career event win here at the CrossFit Games. Last year started out in the hole, had to win 3 events in order to get himself back onto the podium. He's finished inside the top 3 4 times in his career. Has 2 silvers and 2 bronzes, but has yet to win the one that really matters, the gold, as Vellner is now done with round 2.
Vellner wasting no time getting on the parallel bars. He hasn't rested once since this has started. We're talking about his upper body pulling strength and endurance, but his pressing as well. He can get huge sets of ring muscle ups in competition. Those ring dips, the stamina and stability he has there, to be able to take that to a fixed parallel bar. When your strengths get stronger, that's a nice place to be.
And Vellner is now done, and he heads back to the barbell for the final time. Right now, Vellner is ahead of Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsen's time. 9:20.11 seconds, the time to beat for Pat Vellner. 8th place overall coming into this event. He's only 42 points back of Koski for a spot inside the top 3. And now final 9 reps for Pat Vellner. Don't make Pat Vellner angry. I don't think you'd like him when he's angry, and he is clearly competing with an edge right now. As he gets the crowd behind him, he's through his first set of 3. More than a minute to beat Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsen. 3 reps remain for Pat Vellner. And Pat Vellner is going to win event number 4 and lock up 100 points. And look out, Vellner is on the charge.
Who is this guy? I've never seen him do that on the competition floor. I love it.
This is the battle for second. Roman Krennikov and Ricky Garrard. Justin Medeiros right now is in 5th place in the event. So Garrard is trying to hang on to the overall lead. And the good news is he is ahead of Medeiros right now. Roman Krennikov is only 27 points back of Medeiros and Garrard. So less than 30 to go now. Times from those prior heats are starting to factor in here. But Roman Krennikov has just 3 reps remaining, and it's not going to look like he's going to get them done. Ricky Garrard is in. Lazar Jukic is across. And Roman Krennikov is not going to be able to finish. But Pat Vellner, who said Canadians are nice?
I mean, Pat's been fun-loving, he's been entertaining, but I've never seen that from Pat Vellner. As someone who's just always been knocking on the door for a first place at the CrossFit Games. Maybe something new is the best thing for Pat Vellner. So consistent start to finish, but it was this, the traverse on the parallel bar. No one didn't like him, not even close. What was great for Vellner, getting ahead of the rest of the field, but for Ricky, having a couple hiccups here and there, but for Ricky, should keep him close towards the top, but Pat Vellner with a little gymnastic finish, a little tip of the cap to his old days.
Let's go down to Mike Arsenault with your event winner, Pat Vellner.
Pat, I've been covering you, watching you compete in CrossFit since 2016. I have never seen a reaction during an event like what we just saw. You had quite a bit of mustard on that hot dog. What was that reaction from?
I'm trying to get better for that. I've been told I need to work on my celebrations, so I'm working on it. I think sometimes when you know you got it, you can sort of take a minute and enjoy it. A lot of times the events I managed to win, I'm falling across the finish line and I probably couldn't string 2 words together. So when you really can walk one in, it feels nice.
Well, you can tell you have a lot of experience with the parallel bars from your gymnastics career, but how many times have you had a chance to use parallel bars since your competitive CrossFit career?
My coach asked me that in the back, and I think the last time I did it was 5 years ago, randomly at a gym that had some, but it's nice to know I'm probably more than a decade out from my gymnastics career. I've been doing CrossFit about as long as I was doing gymnastics now, so it's funny to think of myself as a former gymnast at this point. I'm pretty much a CrossFitter through and through, but it's nice to know those skills have been beaten into me at some point, and they're still down there.
Well, it looks like you put your day one struggles at the CrossFit Games to bed. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow for event number 2.
Sounds great. I wish we had a day off, but event 2 sounds fine.
Pat Vellner, the only man to go sub 9, and he does it with a little attitude. 8:42.16 seconds. Gorman Carl Gudmundsson will take second. Mertens with his best career finish at the CrossFit Games. He takes third. Ricky Garrard now all by himself in first place. He now has a 12-point lead over Justin Medeiros. Jonakoski is inside the top 3. Pat Vellner goes from 20th to 8th, now to 4th. Could be a fun next 3 days here in Madison, Wisconsin. Thanks for being with us today, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for one event, I should say, of the individuals and the teams. Head to games.crossfit.com for official results and more. See you tomorrow in Madison, Wisconsin.